The skies are burning. The ground shakes under the weight of machines not built by human hands. Cities crumble into ash as shadows stretch across the horizon. A voice echoes in the silence. The war for Earth has begun. Dark clouds swirl over shattered skylines as if the planet itself knows what's coming. The world once filled with hope is now drowning in fear. Humans are no longer asking if they will survive. They are asking how much they are willing to lose. Soldiers march into place, their faces hidden behind masks, their eyes holding both courage and despair. Children cling to their parents in underground shelters, while leaders gather in dim-lit rooms, arguing about the future of humanity. From space, the enemy prepares. Colossal ships drift silently above the Earth's orbit, their lights like cold stars staring down. Inside, alien generals study every detail of human defenses, not with curiosity but with hunger. They do not come to share knowledge. They do not come to negotiate peace. They come to conquer, to take what is not theirs, and to erase what stands. In their way, the whispers of war spread faster than fire. Radios crackle with desperate messages. Hold your ground. Do not surrender. But for every message of strength, there is another filled with panic. Some believe survival means resistance. Others think surrender is the only way to save what's left of humanity. The world is divided, and division is dangerous when the enemy is united, and yet, in the darkest hours, sparks of defiance rise. A scientist in a hidden lab studies alien technology, hoping to turn their own weapons against them. A young soldier writes a final letter, knowing the battle ahead may be his last. A mother prays quietly for a tomorrow her children may never see. These small moments of courage do not change the war, but they change the people fighting it. This is the calm before the storm. Every decision now shapes what tomorrow will look like. The silence before the first shot is louder than thunder. Everyone knows once the battle begins, there will be no turning back. The world holds its breath as the first rumble of war spreads across the horizon. There is no dawn, only the glow of fire in the sky. Across every continent, preparations for survival turn into preparations for war. Humanity is split between those who believe resistance is the only answer and those who whisper that surrender may be the only path to survival. In the war rooms, deep beneath mountains, leaders argue, their voices rising above the crackling radios and flashing maps. Generals slam their fists on the table, demanding action, while politicians plead for caution. One voice says, "If we strike first, we may not have a second chance." Another replies, "If we strike at all, we may lose everything." The room is heavy with fear, but heavier still with indecision. The enemy does not wait. The enemy does not hesitate. Every second spent in argument is a second the alien armadas move closer, above the earth. The alien fleet gathers like a storm. Their ships stretch across the stars, blotting out constellations that once guided sailors home. From their command vessel, the alien leaders watch in silence, their dark eyes fixed on the fragile blue world below. For them, Earth is not a home. To be respected is a prize to be taken. They see its oceans, its forests, its energy, its people, not as life but as resources. And for resources, they will burn everything in their way. The first signs of their power are already felt. Entire cities lose electricity as alien interference cripples communication satellites. Airplanes vanish from the sky as invisible energy cuts through engines. Families huddle in the dark, their radios whispering warnings they can barely understand. Stay hidden. Stay together, but hidden from what? The enemy is everywhere and nowhere. In the midst of this fear, soldiers gather in silence. They load their rifles, check their armor, and say nothing. They know what's coming. On the front lines, a young commander looks across the battlefield, his breath shaking as he sees the silhouettes of alien war machines moving like shadows in the distance. For the first time, humanity faces a war not against itself, but against an enemy beyond comprehension. Still, humanity is not without defiance. A secret meeting of rebels takes place in an abandoned subway, their faces half lit by broken lights. A leader rises and declares, "If the governments cannot decide, we will." This planet does not belong to them, it belongs to us. The rebels may be small, their weapons old, their numbers few, but their voices carry the weight of a people unwilling to bow. In their eyes, surrender is worse than death. And far away, in a hidden lab, a scientist works alone, piecing together fragments of alien technology recovered from the first battles. Her hands tremble as she activates a prototype weapon, one that hums with power beyond anything humans have built before. But she knows the truth. The same weapon that could save humanity could also destroy it. She whispers to herself, "This is our only chance." The conflict rises not only in the skies and on the ground, but in the hearts of humanity itself. Brothers argue, fathers and sons part ways, friends become enemies over a single question: fight or surrender. The enemy does not need to break humanity, they only need to let humans break themselves. The tension spreads like poison. Radios fill with desperate voices. Streets echo with protests and riots. Some demand peace, waving white flags at the sky. Others scream for war, ready to burn everything for freedom. And as chaos rises, the alien fleet prepares to strike, patient, calm, certain of victory. But they do not yet understand one thing. Humanity may be divided, humanity may be afraid, but when pushed to the edge, when faced with extinction, even the weakest spark can ignite a fire strong enough to burn the stars. The rising conflict is no longer a question of if the war will begin. It is a question of when, and the answer is closer than anyone dares to admit. The storm has not yet broken, but its weight presses down on every heart. The war is no longer just a matter of nations and fleets. It has reached into the lives of individuals, forcing choices that tear at the soul. Every hero, every survivor, now stands at the edge of their own breaking point. In a dim bunker lit only by a single lantern, a soldier sits alone, staring at a letter he cannot bring himself to finish. The words are simple: "If I do not return, remember that I fought for you." His hands tremble, not from fear of the enemy, but from the knowledge that he may never see the faces of his children again. He folds the letter carefully, placing it in his pocket like a final piece of home. When the sirens scream above, he stands and marches toward the surface, his silence heavier than any weapon he carries. Far away, a scientist stares at glowing shards of alien metal scattered across her table. She has unlocked something no human was meant to touch, technology that hums with living energy, whispering in tones she cannot fully understand. Her colleagues plead with her to stop, to rest, to think of safety. But her mind is consumed by one truth: humanity cannot win this war with ordinary weapons. She works through bloodshot eyes and shaking hands, telling herself over and over, "If I can turn their power against them, maybe we have a chance." Yet she knows that one mistake could destroy the very world she is trying to save. In the streets above, rebellion grows. A commander gathers his fighters in the shadows of ruined buildings. He looks at them, men and women who have lost everything already, yet still stand ready to fight. Their weapons are old, their numbers small, but their spirits burn brighter than the flames around them. The commander knows every order he gives may send someone to their death. He feels the weight of every life on his shoulders. And yet, with a voice steady as steel, he tells them, "We fight not because we are strong, but because this is our home. If we fall, then at least we fall standing." His words echo in the silence, and for a moment, fear bends to courage. Even among the alien invaders, there are fractures. A young warrior from their ranks stares at Earth's people through a viewing screen. He has been taught that humans are weak, disorganized, unworthy of existence. But as he watches a mother shield her children in the rubble, he feels something foreign stirring within him: doubt. Doubt in the war, doubt in his leaders, doubt in the endless cycle of conquest. His hesitation is brief, but in war, even a heartbeat of hesitation can change destiny. Across the world, ordinary lives bend beneath the weight of impossible choices. A father hides his family deep underground, whispering promises he does not believe. A medic tends to wounded civilians, her hands shaking as she wonders how long supplies will last. A pilot sits in his fighter jet, staring into the endless dark sky, knowing that once he launches, he may never return. Each of them is pushed to the edge, tested not by the enemy alone, but by their own fears, their own limits, their own humanity. The breaking point is not loud. It is not always marked by screams or explosions. Sometimes it is a whisper in the dark, a silent decision made with no witnesses, to keep fighting when there is no hope, to sacrifice what cannot be replaced, to risk everything for the chance no matter how small that tomorrow will still exist. And as the world holds its breath, one truth becomes clear: heroes are not born in times of peace. They are shaped in fire, carved from sacrifice, and tested when the weight of survival feels unbearable. The war has not yet truly begun, but already humanity's fate rests not in nations, not in armies, but in the hearts of those standing at the edge of breaking and choosing not to fall. The silence does not last. The storm that has loomed over Earth finally breaks, not with a whisper, but with fire. Across the horizon, the first alien strike tears through the sky, leaving trails of light that fall like burning stars. Entire cities tremble as the invasion begins. What was once fear and debate now becomes chaos, as humanity's darkest nightmare takes shape before their eyes. On the ground, the streets erupt with panic. Sirens scream. Families rush into shelters, clutching children to their chests. Soldiers, who had waited in silence, now charge into action, their boots pounding against the broken earth. Tanks roll forward, their cannons aimed at the heavens, while jets slice through the smoky skies, desperate to challenge the invaders. For a brief moment, the world unites under one cry: fight. Above, the alien fleet answers with cold precision. Their weapons are unlike anything humanity has ever seen: beams of light that cut through steel, machines that move like predators, shields that bend bullets like raindrops. A single alien warship unleashes enough firepower to silence an entire city. Buildings collapse into rubble, highways split apart. The ground itself seems to shudder under their power. To the aliens, this is not a battle, it is a demonstration. A warning that resistance is hopeless, yet resistance burns anyway. In the heart of a ruined city, a squad of human soldiers holds the line. They know they cannot win against such power, but they refuse to retreat. One soldier shouts into his radio, "Tell them we're still here. Tell them Earth is still fighting?" Their weapons flare in the smoke, sparks against an unstoppable storm, but sparks that refuse to die. In the skies, dogfights rage. Human pilots dive and weave, outnumbered and outgunned, but unwilling to yield. A young pilot locks onto an alien ship, his breath steady as he whispers a promise to himself. This is for everyone they've taken. He fires, and against all odds, the alien craft explodes in a shower of light. For one heartbeat, hope flickers. For one heartbeat, the impossible feels possible. Underground, the scientist's weapon hums to life. Her prototype, forged from alien fragments, glows with unstable power. She knows it may fail, she knows it may kill her, but she also knows this is the only chance to strike back. With trembling hands, she activates the device, sending a surge of energy through the battlefield above. For the first time, an alien war machine falters, its shield cracking under the unfamiliar force. The world watches as the impossible happens: an alien giant falls. But victory does not come without cost. The rebels in the city are surrounded. Their leader, wounded and bleeding, refuses to surrender. He lifts his weapon one last time, his voice raw as he shouts, "Earth does not belong to you." His words are drowned in fire, but his defiance lingers like an echo across the battlefield. Even in death, resistance has meaning. The war ignites not only with weapons, but with choices. A soldier risks his life to pull a stranger from the rubble. A mother shields her child as debris rains down, whispering promises that tomorrow will be brighter. An alien warrior hesitates in the chaos, watching the resilience of humans with something dangerously close to respect. The flames of war burn away doubt, fear, and hesitation, leaving only the truth. Survival will demand everything. The earth shakes, the sky burns, humanity bleeds. And yet, in the heart of destruction, something powerful is born, not surrender, not despair, but unity. For the first time, humans across the globe are bound together not by borders, not by nations, but by the shared will to survive. This is not just war. This is the beginning of a fight for existence itself. The battle for Earth has started, and there will be no turning back.